Okay, I'm live. Um, um, so hello everyone. Hello everyone. Hello everyone that's here and everybody that's gonna join later or watch later. Thank you for tuning in. As you can see, we are talking about hey Isabella, hey mystery girl. So we are talking about students not meeting the graduation requirements. I think I did a podcast about this where it says, people worried about prom and other things, but what's most important in your school journey, from starting from, depending on when you started school, if it was VPK, pre-K, some people, we have Head Start in Miami-Dade County, to elementary, to middle school, into high school, and the ultimate goal is to graduate with a high school diploma. That is the ultimate goal. Everything else is like the cherry on top, I guess. But the ultimate goal is to graduate. And now we are seeing there are many students, many seniors finding out. Some of them are saying that they're finding out that, the last minute that they're not going to be able to graduate. That's not all the way true. So the podcast that I did, that was in Marlin, Texas. It's a very small school, and only 5 of the seniors are graduating. I think they have like 33 or 35 kids, and only 5 of them were graduating. But then they postponed the graduation. They postponed the graduation until later on in June. And so when the kids, I guess the kids meet all the requirements, then they have the graduation. But here we have a new school. This is in North Carolina, New Bern High School, where I think they suspended the principal and somebody else. I'm gonna play the news story, and there are students that are not good. There's a handful of students that will not be graduating. They say that they found out like a few days before. They found out a few days before graduation, and that they wouldn't be graduating because they were missing, they didn't pass a class. Now let me tell you something. You didn't pass a class. When you didn't pass a class, you didn't pass a class. You may not know that it may affect you to graduate, but you didn't pass that class. So we're going to listen to this news story. New Bern High School. Let me put it up. You know how we listen to stuff over here for now. I have to start someplace. New Bern High School. They always have to play commercials. Okay, it's 50 seniors. That's what it is. It's 50 seniors. And the parents outside protesting. Students in New Bern. Hey. Trying to enlarge you. Okay.
Bern are voicing concerns almost a week after their high school's principal, Jeremy Simmons, and counselor Heidi Riggs were both suddenly suspended. And now more than 50 seniors are just now learning they will not be able to walk for graduation ceremonies this Friday because they failed a course. They feel Simmons was working to make sure they made up that course before then. Our Jalen Holloway has the latest.
The New Bern High School community banded together in frustration outside the Craven County Board of Education Monday night. just hours after several graduating seniors say their world was turned upside down.
A lot of us will not be graduating. More than like 50 of us will not be graduating.
Members of the 2023 class say the school system delivered the news that more than 50 of them won't be walking during Friday's graduation ceremony due to a failed course or two, causing future college athletes like Elijah Tripp to be in limbo.
They didn't even give us a chance with 3 days before time. And honestly, they could still put us in the classes now. Them refusing to do that is just letting us know how much they really don't care.
Denise Magwood believes the decision has something to do with Jerry Simmons and Heidi Ricks' suspension.
They're going off to college to do something greater, which is what you as an educator has promoted and advocated for them all 12 years.
Craven County Public Relations Director Jennifer Wagner sent us a statement regarding New Bern High School's graduation requirements that reads, "At the end of every school year, our high schools are tasked with notifying parents whose students are not eligible to graduate based on the final outcome of their last semester of school. In order for seniors to be eligible to graduate, they must complete all courses and attendance requirements established by the state to earn credit toward achieving their diploma. It is the goal of Craven County Schools for all seniors to have the opportunity to walk with their classmates on graduation day. We also offer many options to help students earn credit over the summer and receive their diploma once all necessary requirements are fulfilled. Students who fail say the school requires them to take the 72-hour course over the summer, which is why Magwood believes they should still be able to walk with their classmates with Simmons and Ricks in attendance."
We want Principal Simmons and Heidi Ricks at graduation. That's what we want. Is that what we want? That's what we want.
That was our Jalen Holloway reporting. Students told WITN that they're now just, quote, sitting ducks at this point, end quote, because they don't know what is happening over the next few days. As far as Simmons and Ricks' suspension, the school system says nothing has changed.
Okay. So, you heard that. So you heard that news story, and this is coming out of North Carolina. And before I say anything, this is one thing I have noticed. When people have kids, like when they're kids in elementary, and I don't know if all school systems do this, but I guess they have to have some type of night, and they may call it a different name too, where they, you know, when the school year just starts, in Miami-Dade County, or in Broward County, they call it open house. Open house, that's when you come in, you meet all the teachers that's going to teach your child throughout the school year. That's the night that you meet them. They may call it something else in different states, in different counties. So, on open house, this is what I noticed. When people have children in elementary, there's no place for parents to stand. Everybody come through in elementary. Middle school, there's some parents. Not a lot, but then there are some parents. But when it comes to high school, some classes is like maybe one or two parents, depending on what school you go to. Some parents don't show up at all. The teacher has nothing to do. The teacher, they have to stay behind a little bit more. They probably get paid, of course. But to meet and greet with the parents, no parents show up, especially in high school. And I've always gone since my kids went to, except for during, I think, when it was COVID, they didn't have open house, did they? No, they didn't have. That's the only time they didn't have COVID. So, 9th grade, 11th, and 12th grade, those 3 years, and even before, I have went to open houses before. Parents do not show up in high school at open house. This is where you're able to talk to the teacher. This is where the teachers, they have the sign-in sheet where you can leave your email, you can leave your phone number. So anything that happens throughout the year, the teacher is able to have a contact with you, because sometimes at the registrar, the front desk, the main office, they don't even have the parents' actual email address, actual phone number, and then sometimes the parents don't even they don't even be checking their email. So during those times, high school, parents don't show up at open house, parents' night, PTAs. Parents do not show up. But when something happens, where when it's like too late, where you really can't do anything, then everybody got time, because let's make it clear. We make time for stuff that's important to us, and you could say whatever. Oh no, my child is important to me, but we make time for whatever is important to us. Sometimes yes, some of these parent stuff that they have is in afternoon, you're tired and stuff like that. But I've seen parents that are tired, even if they come for 30 minutes, even if they come for an hour, they show up. They show up, they make sure they meet all the teachers, get all that contact information, just in case anything that happens during the year, the teacher can reach out to them, which is a good thing, because it's not like I'm talking, oh well, you're not going through this, you don't your child probably did no. My kids had to fight to finish well this school year. They had classes that they failed. They had classes they were in danger of failing. Me and the teacher had to look at the teacher called me, and I was like, look here, you better do what you're supposed to do, or you certain stuff you're not gonna get from me. It's certain things, especially when my daughter, she had several projects that she had to complete because of the program that she's in, and if she didn't complete it, she wasn't going to get cleared for graduation. So even way before, we was on top of her, making sure she did what she had to do. I collaborated with the teacher. How did I do that? Because the teacher had my contact information when I went to open house. And when I went to open house, I told the teacher, anything that happens, let me know. Let me know. But now sometimes even if some teachers have the parents contact information. Like I have a niece, she's in middle school. The teacher was reaching out to some parents and telling them, your child haven't been to school, your child hasn't been doing, and some of the parents telling them, say, okay, that's his, okay, why you telling me this? Why don't you talk to him? You're the parent. That's why they're calling you. But some parents don't care until it's something that could affect their bragging rights or whatever it may be. Because some of them already rented out some places. They're going to have cookouts. They're going to have dinners. They're going to have different things. And then why are you going to have it if your child's not even graduated? So, yes, we could say that it's the counselor's fault, it's the principal's fault. They have their fault in it, but the parents have fault also. The student has a fault, because whether you took the class in junior year or the beginning of senior year and you didn't pass this class, you need to make sure that this will not affect. That's how we did long time ago. Long time ago, that's what we did. I know I didn't fail. I didn't pass this class. I'm graduating. I need to make sure that I am not. This is not going to affect my graduation. But kids don't care nowadays, because on social media they push this fast, get money, chase money, get money quick lifestyle. So they think they don't need school. That's why you have a bunch of people. Yes, some people make it out there doing different things that may not require high school, but you need some type of formal education in some arenas, so that whoever's supposed to be helping you out with your finances, stuff like that, so they know not to mess with you, because you have something in your head. But when you don't have anything in your head, you people will take advantage of you. So the kids were saying, this school, the principal is suspended and the counselor is suspended for whatever reasons, and it looked like they probably not going to be there during graduation, because the school board said they're still suspended. They saying that if it is true that a few days before graduation these kids are finding out, because they didn't pass this class, they won't be able to graduate. That is wrong. Even though yes, the schools nowadays are overwhelmed, especially with these kids with bad behaviors. They spending way more time because the counselor, if they deal with grades and making sure you're college ready, but also if you misbehave and do stuff, they have to deal with that too. So now if they don't have to deal with that, well, depending on what school you go to, because your school is different.
In high school, they're supposed to have counselors, assistant principals, vice principal, and principal. The assistant principal
I
is,
can't hear you.
the assistant principal deals with behavior and stuff. The counselors is only supposed to be dealing with grades because they did that. Like in middle school, there's not a lot of kids, but in high school, you have different grade levels. They're supposed to have 4 assistant principals for each grade level that deals with
But that's
discipline.
your school.
And they need a dean of students.
Yeah, but that's your school.
That's
Because
most
some
schools.
most schools, but some schools, we don't know, different counties may not have like the resources to pay all those assistant principal. So we have to look at both sides too. You understand? I understand where you come from.
Our school's poor.
Your school is not that poor, okay? Your school's not. Yes, that's school's well off than you guys, but your school is not that thing. Okay, but suppose the counselor don't have to deal with all those things, or she has to put in her 2 cents. Sometimes it may not even have to be dealing with them, but some of them counselors be in people business. So the counselors is supposed to, before graduation time comes, like my daughter's school, it was like the end of the second 9 weeks, right?
Yeah.
Because they separate the school year in 9 weeks. You have 4 9 weeks, and that's the school year. So after the second 9 weeks, they call down every senior to let them know if they are ready for graduation. That's why you said that when they said some kids was not cleared to graduate, they was crying. They knew. Some of them knew that certain stuff you were missing, certain stuff you need to do, certain stuff you need to think of. So when many of them did not get cleared for graduation, was crying, boo boo crying, nobody could did not anything for them because before the second 9 weeks was like sometime last year or the beginning of this year, they knew. They called out every single senior to come down to find out where you stand for graduation. And then what you need to do. So if you did not do what you were supposed to do, that's not on the school. But yes, there are some schools that probably didn't do that. They probably was busy doing something else, or they didn't care. That's why you go to these open houses. That's why you reach out to your child's teachers to find out what they're doing. Like I said, in Miami-Dade County, I know all school districts may not have the technology to do this, but there's a way. They have a student portal, they have a parent portal. You can add, if you know your student's ID number, you can add every child that you have in the school district, so you can keep on top of their grades, because teachers have to put in grades, some of them daily, some of them weekly or whatever. They have to put in the grades, so you're able to see how your child is doing. But people are not keeping on top of these things. They are not keeping on top of this thing. And then these kids, they say they are not graduating because they failed a class, and this class is required for you to graduate. In Miami-Dade County, they have this in Broward too? What you would know.
What?
Ingenuity. Y'all have Ingenuity?
Yeah.
Okay, so Broward and Miami-Dade, I have kids
The
in
whole
2 different.
Florida system.
The whole Florida system. Okay, good. So the whole Florida system has a thing that's called Ingenuity. If you happen,
FLVS.
an FLVS, but I'm not talking about FLVS. I'm talking about Ingenuity.
They're the same thing.
That's the same thing? Why they come with 2 different names?
They do the same thing.
Okay, they do the same thing, and that's what you use to self. What you call it again?
It's credit recovery.
Oh, credit recovery. So that's the system that they use. If you did not pass any class, if you failed the class, you are able.
Ingenuity and FLVS, they have courses that you take.
Mhm.
For Ingenuity, you have to get You have to get,
Talk louder.
for Ingenuity, a counselor has to enroll you for that class. You can't use it unless the counselor enroll you for that class, which is credit recovery,
Mm-hmm.
which is usually a class period.
Okay.
FLVS is like credit recovery, but also like if you want to go like step ahead, it's basically like high school dual enrollment,
Okay.
self-paced learning. But and kids in our class in our school use it for credit recovery because you have to get enrolled for Ingenuity, but FLVS you could just self-enroll.
But okay, Ingenuity is FFVS. Those are self-paced. You do it.
Yeah, it's self-paced.
It's
Most of them are
self-paced.
self-paced.
So depending on how you work, you could do that. That's why those girls were able to do it in a day.
Yeah.
Okay. So it was certain kids in the class, they didn't pass important class that they needed to graduate. They were able to finish this class in one day. Because I think this North Carolina, they say, is a 72-hour class. But in these kids who did not pass, they were supposed to be graduating, but because they failed the class, they were in limbo for them to graduate. So they had to take Ingenuity. Ingenuity LVS, this is in the whole Florida system. You're able to go in and take that class. Depending on how you work, you can finish that class and get the credit for that class in one day. It depends on how quick you work. Some kids may take 2 days or 3 days, but these kids were able to do it in one day and they were able to graduate. I don't know what they have in North Carolina. I'm not sure if they have this system. All Florida schools have access to this. And then you say they could self-enroll in certain classes. I mean, in the FLVS or Ingenuity?
FLVS.
FLVS. So if it's certain stuff that you're missing, you don't have to wait on the counselor to do it because the counselor may be busy. You can do it for yourself. But your child has to be proactive. Your child, that's what the thing is. If you always doing stuff for your child, doing this for them, they can't do nothing. When it comes to certain stuff like that, they're not doing well in class. They're not going to be proactive, fighting, going to the counselor, going to the principal. What can I do? I'm failing this class. I didn't pass this class. I have a low grade in this class. I want to bring up my GPA. They're not going to be proactive. That's why you cannot do everything for your child. You have to teach them responsibility. You have to let them do stuff on their own. Because when they need to do certain stuff that's important for them and only them can do it, they won't be able to do it because you've been doing stuff for them all their life. And that's what we're encountering. So now y'all have time. Y'all in at nighttime, y'all in front of the school board because people will say, "Oh, I'm busy. I have stuff." But now y'all got time to be in front and protesting in front of the school board when y'all had to. What happened the whole year? What happened to the whole year? Where was y'all at? Where were the parents? Now everybody got time to be in the protesting. Oh, the kids can't go this place. But where was y'all? Why was nobody on top of these kids' grades? Nobody on top of these kids' grades? Even though you can't do it, have the child open up their grades in front of you. And then that's the thing. If your school district does not have these technologies where the parent is able to access the child's grades, where it's certain they have credit recovery, then that's something you need to be aware of and make your decision on if your child going to stay in the school district. I have a child in Miami-Dade County. I have a child in Broward County because that's what work best for thing up. And we owe it to our child to be able to accommodate them. Like maybe the school that's right around the corner from your house, it's convenient, but it may not be a good fit for your child because there's certain ways that your child is. You may have to travel 30 minutes or 20 minutes to another city or another county, like in my case, to accommodate your child so your child could be better. But sometimes parents are not willing to do that sacrifice, just like they're not willing to sacrifice to come to a parent night or open house.
It's like how some people be telling me, oh, why your mom drives all the way to Broward? She could just send her to a closer school. She's wasting her gas money.
So what? First, you should have told them why they in my business in the first place. And then what you say?
I say that Isabel, the school had what Isabel needed.
Yeah. So
what
and
happened? Would be complaining to me, oh, when people ask me like what school you go to, I'd be like, oh, she goes to South Broward. Oh, she's all the way in Broward. Your mom drives all the way up there. She's wasting gas money. Just send her to school.
well, I should be the one complaining, right? Because I'm the one that's driving. I'm not complaining because when you're a parent, that's what you're supposed to do: sacrifice for your child. Because they probably have never had a nobody sacrifice for them. That's why it's so weird. Why would your mom, if you have several schools, she could go in Miami-Dade County. Why would your mom drive to Broward County? Because I sacrifice for my children. That's why. So it's unfortunate these kids have to they not graduate. I don't know if they gonna probably do well. That was Marlin, Texas. They just postponed the graduation for June. For these other kids, I don't know what's going on. They say they're gonna have to take. Oh yeah, they have to take a 72-hour course. 72-hour course, but that's not anytime soon. So they're not gonna graduate.
They're graduating in December.
Yeah, they're not gonna graduate. They're gonna graduate December.
Well, that's how our school do it. You graduate in December.
Which is not even the same. They're gonna have like a graduation in December. It's not the same as the real. Not the real, but as the actual date for graduation. It's not. It's the ambiance of the ceremony is not gonna be the same. But this is what happened. And then this is the thing. You see all this news story going around. Kids not meeting graduation requirements. You think people gonna learn from it? No. Next year, 2024, you're gonna have a bunch of people protesting in school boards in front of the schools, going knocking onto them because their child is not graduating. They learn from what happening now because people gonna think, oh, that's not gonna happen to me. That's not gonna happen to my child. Or people just don't care. You're not gonna care now, but one day you'll care. And sometimes, by the time you care, it'll be too late. And then even one of my daughters, she was letting me know it was a class that she got a bad grade in. She got a D, and she wanted to boost up her because it was taking down her GPA. It was taking down her GPA, and this is why it's so important for you to raise respectable children. Because she wanted to do credit recovery, to boost it up to the next grade. That's what you want to do. You want me to tell your business? Girl, whatever. I didn't say which one of you guys it is. But anyway, I need to make this point. So she was talking to one of the administration, and then the administration is like, okay, to boost up the letter grade. She was like, okay, I'm willing to do that. But, there were 3 people that had to sign off on this to boost up a letter grade. And thank God it was the 3 people that always whenever I come to school I say, wow, your daughter is this, she's such a respectable young girl, and that's the 3 people that had to sign up to bump her up to a letter grade, and she was able to it boosted up her GPA a good much. So that's why it's very important for your child to be respectable to all adults, because you never know when you're going to need people to sign off on certain stuff to help you out. Sometimes these kids are so disrespectful. The fact that when you have a child that's respectful, they're so amazed because the amount of kids that have no manners, that have no respect. And it's a shame that now people have time for their kids. Now you got time to be sitting on the sidewalk protesting for your child, and it didn't even do anything. Whereas you could have been more proactive, follow up, find out who's your teacher. Your child's teachers. Speak to them, get in contact with them, make sure your child. But nobody cares, right? But we're going to see next year, we're going to be doing stories about this again. It's probably going to be more. And remember, a lot of this stuff is the parents that reach out to the news too. The parents that reach out to the news so they can let them know. I don't know if they wanted to whatever they was trying to do, but it was the parents that reached out to the news, and that's how the news was covering a lot of these things. But next year is going to be a next group of people who not staying on top of their things, and then who wasn't proactive enough, and then they're going to be protesting again how their child is not graduating, worried about everything else, and instead of putting graduation, getting that diploma, because that's the next thing. Some kids just getting a certificate of completion. You spend all this time in school, and you getting a certificate of completion. And then some of these kids were not. It's not only the class that they didn't pass, but they didn't have the attendance. Like I was saying in my video, some kids having 50 school absences, 60 school absences. What were you doing? Why no? Where are the parents? How do you not know your child have 50 school absences? Where are you? But sometimes some parents leave early in the morning and then come late at night. They don't know their child never woke up. Their child never left the house, never went to school. That is crazy. And yes, Big C came through. Yeah, that is original. Big C came through, and it affected a lot of these kids. But some kids were able to make it through. Because Big C came to check my girls and tell them what's up. Tell them what you made of. But they were able to overcome it. And they had to fight hard. They had to fight hard to finish strong. Because they entered in school with very good grades. And then they did 9th grade, and then the ending of 9th grade, that's when Big C came through in 2020. Big C came through in 2020. Child, please. That affected a lot of kids, and some kids still haven't bounced back. And then there was a bunch of other things, but they still fought through. They still fought through and finished strong. And we went through a whole lot. Sometimes didn't even know how he was going to go to school. God made a way. They still pushed through. But we still have to stay on top of our kids. We have to be more proactive. We got to be more proactive. You stop waiting. Why we have to wait till last minute to do certain things? But I guess some people like to work under pressure. That's the thing. That's all it is. Some people just like to work under pressure. When you're under pressure, that's when you do the work. I think that's all I had to say on this situation. So now we have some school in North Carolina. This is all over the place. Trust me. Some stuff is just not making news. But every school had a bunch of kids that's not graduating because they didn't meet the requirements. Because some kids, they would have did it. Some kids, they would have made it. But they don't have nobody pushing them. They don't have nobody keeping their foot on their neck and say, look here, you're not going to get this, you're not going to go this, you're not going to until you pass this class, until you do this. But nobody's staying on top of them. Nobody knows what's going on. So some kids would have made it if they had more people involved in their life that actually are involved, not saying with their mouth, but actually, seeing what they are doing in class. But that's all I had to say on this situation. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in another video. Bye.